Last month, my friend called me panicking. He makes $180,000 a year and he couldn't cover a $2,000 emergency. Did you know 64% of $100,000 plus earners can't cover a $1,000 emergency? Meanwhile, my other friend, a teacher making $52,000 a year, just bought her second property. And here's the difference. One of them fell into the trap that 9 in 10 high earners don't even know exists. This is called lifestyle creep. You know, the neighbor that gets the raise, the promotion, or the new job, and all of a sudden, the new car shows up in the driveway, or they put their house up for sale because now they're in a new neighborhood. This is a classic as to why most people hold themselves back from building wealth. When I got my first big raise at Deloitte, what I did is took that extra money and put it directly to my student loans, which sped up our journey from a year and a half to 6 months of paying our debt off. And the cool thing is we had everything mapped out. So our automated financial plan showed us everything that was going to happen with the extra money that came in. So as soon as I got that, I went into my automated financial plan and I started adjusting numbers to see the outcome of the adjustment with the new income. And I could have easily went to below that, but it was so obvious to me because I could see the numbers so clearly that it only made sense to pay off my student loans at the time. And you wonder, why do our brains do this? There's a few psychological reasons. Number one is hedonic adaptation. As humans, we get an initial surge of satisfaction, but eventually that wears off and we become used to whatever we have. The second thing is social comparison and influence. Humans are social creatures. So you might think the corny saying is, you're the average of the 5 closest people you're around. And you might think that sounds corny, but the reality is humans are social creatures. And we constantly compare and contrast each other's lives. And this can lead to the desire of keeping up with the Joneses. And I saw this real time at Deloitte with a lot of people in that circle. The third thing is entitlement and emotional spending. In Budgetdog Academy, we have a behavioral psychologist that works with all of our students to get them over these psychological barriers that are actually holding them back. Most times, their issue is not a spreadsheet and it's not the math and it's not their income. It's actually these 3 things here: entitlement and emotional spending, social comparison and influence, and hedonic adaptation. There's a lot of things actually holding people back that isn't the spreadsheet. You know, the person that says, oh, I work hard so I deserve it. I hear that all the time. And that's a huge red flag. So let's walk through my 3-part framework of lifestyle creep. We're going to look through the lifestyle creep formula, the 3 wealth killers, and the anti-creep system. So the 10% rule, every time you get a 10% raise, you start to spend 15% more in your spend. All of a sudden, you have a 15% spending increase. And you might be wondering why, but here's what happens. It comes in the form of little payments that add up that eventually become something bigger. And underneath that payment is a larger liability. For example, a car payment might be $800 extra per month, but that car liability might be $30,000 in total. And guess what? If you don't pay it, you're on hook for the $30,000, not the $800 payment. And until that $30,000 liability is gone, you still owe $800 a month. The second thing is baseline reset. This is hedonic adaptation and how we forget what normal actually is once we move up in lifestyle. I remember what we lived like at 23 years old because it's not much different than what we lived at 31. And we didn't change our lifestyle for the first 8 years of our life. Every raise we got, every promotion, every increase in income went directly to our financial goals, and our lifestyle actually stayed the same because we realized before kids and before real life of adulting, why not sacrifice early so that we can enjoy life, which we are doing now? And this is why we're financially free, and I'm talking to you on a Tuesday afternoon. Let's say this individual has a take-home income of $100,000. They have expenses of $80,000 and they have investments of $20,000. So all in all, they're doing pretty good. They're investing $1,667 a month. Let's say this individual increases their take-home pay by $10,000. So they have optionality, but let's see the difference of themselves over the long haul. So in the beginning, they were investing $1,667 a month. If they got a $10,000 per year take-home basis income raise, then what they could do is invest the difference, which would be an extra $833 a month, which would take them from $1,667 per month to $2,500 per month. So before they got the raise, if they continued on that pace, $1,667 per month at 10% returns for 30 years, their outcome would have been $4.2 million, with their interest being $3.6 million in total. And as you can see on the screen, if they went up to $2,500 per month, 10% returns, 30 years of interest, they would have had $6.3 million, and $5.4 million of that would have been interest earned. So over 30 years, that would have only been $310,000 more of contributions, $1.8 million of more interest earned, and a total of $2.1 million difference. This is from a simple increase of take-home pay by $10,000 one time in their life. So if they did this one time and every raise after that, they decided to do whatever they wanted with it and they just did not invest it, they spent it, they went on vacations, did whatever, this would make a difference of $2 $8.1 million in their life. This is why small amounts of money can add up to massive sums. But the problem is the compound effect of small little purchases that add up, like the new car, the new house, the hobbies, the eating out, all of that stuff has a compounding effect that goes against what we just talked about. One of my students, Stacy Joseph, was in the healthcare industry, and she was doing this her whole entire life until she said enough was enough. And what happened once she changed that? As you can see on the screen, she started listing out all of her major wins. She started paying off a ton of debt. She paid off $13,000 of credit card debt, $8,000 of 401k loan, $8,500 of a personal loan, and $2,000 of a medical debt. But the biggest thing is all of that debt gone equaled $1,300 a month back in her pocket. And this is exactly what you could do if you wanted to. And if you're looking to upgrade to Budgetdog Academy to where we build with you an automated financial system that takes no more than 30 minutes a month to hit every financial goal you ever wanted to hit, go in the show notes below and book a call with my team today. But again, this is for serious people only. Do not waste your time if you're not ready to invest in yourself and change your life forever. Oh, and bring your spouse, because if they're not there, I'm canceling your call because they matter. Okay, let's jump into part 2, the 3 wealth killers. So killer number 1, the comfort trap, the necessities versus the necessities. You know, like the food, shelter, and water versus the avocado toast, the quartz countertops, and the Saratoga Springs water. Shout out to Ashton Hall. Or the subscription stack attack, Spotify, YouTube Premium, Audible, Google storage, etc. That adds up to thousands of dollars. Or the soft millennials that are like the quality of life, and they rationalize everything. They went from making their coffee at home to then a $2 run every day to a $5 run to the best of the best at Starbucks. It's not even coffee at this point in time, and it's like $12, but they need quality of life. You know, the comfort trap. Number 2 is the social proof. Your income increases and you start making more, so it's easier if you don't actually have the discipline to start spending more. Here's how you fix that. With an automated financial system that we build within Budgetdog Academy, we already have pre-programmed things that you will do once you get that income so that you have to listen to your system. You aren't just manually deciding what to do at that point in time. Everything is automated. And this is exactly why our students get the results they do. And as you can see on the screen, all of the net worth wins continue to pile in. And also the Instagram effect. You go into someone's Instagram and all you see is the highlight reels of all their wins. This is why I keep it real and I show you the reality behind the scenes. Like when we lost our house and we spent $300,000 on getting to the new home. I like to keep it real because I don't like to put a false reality out on my Instagram. It is what it is. And you're going to get the real me in any situation, no matter how much money I have. And yes, people that have money do have problems. More money, more problems. BIG, shout out. This is an interesting one. Keeping up at different income levels. I saw this at Deloitte, like I said, a lot when I was there. And so a lot of partners would have an unwritten rule to have a very nice car to show up to their clients, as well as join the local country club. And if you weren't part of that circle, you probably weren't going to make partner status or PPMD, although they wouldn't tell you directly. And these little types of things kill people's wealth long term. And while a lot of partners make a ton of money, I can almost guarantee I'm further ahead at 33 than a lot of them are at 55 years old. And if bad times come, they then give them an early retirement package and kick them out. So you got to make sure your money's good before you leave the partnership. And I have some stories for that I'll share later. And then this social circle spending comparison. You know, you go to a party and your family pulls up with a Tesla and they tell you all about it. And you don't really care, but all of a sudden you start getting intrigued by the idea of having a Tesla. And then your next family member comes up or your friend comes up with a new Mercedes. And you start to see everybody around you getting their newest, latest car. And it's very easy to fall victim to that. Now, I do think part of that comes down to your own self-esteem. And if you're a confident individual naturally, you're not going to fall victim to that. But this happens a lot. Killer number 3, the reward mentality. I work hard. I deserve this. I hear so many people on a daily basis say that. I literally was getting a haircut yesterday at Great Clips. Shout out to Great Clips. And the girl that was cutting my hair was literally going on and on and on about how hard she works and how much money and how little money she works. And she just needs to spend it all to enjoy her life. And I don't say much and I don't insert myself in that conversation too hard because people are going to do what they want to do. But what I would always say to that is a victim mentality that's only holding you back. I also see people linking their spending to success. They might have come from nothing. So if they spend money and they have a new purse or a new car, or a new house, that means they made it. And this is very, very common amongst somebody that came from a poor background. I see it a lot in my academy We work on the mental side of things to shed that emotional need that somebody might have. But this is killing people every single day. And like we talked about, the hedonic treadmill, the floor begins to rise. What you once considered normal or sustainable is no longer normal or sustainable because the new Saratoga Springs water overtook the water from the fridge. Now, part 3, the anti-creep system. How do you keep this out of your life? Strategy 1, pay yourself first 2.0. You can do this based on a percentage-based automation. And again, you need an automated financial system like we build in Budgetdog Academy. You're not going to be able to do this alone. But set the automations to be 50-50. So when that raise comes in, you actually put 50% away and then start to spend 50%. There's nothing wrong with spending more money if you make more money, but make sure it doesn't take you away from your goals, and make sure you calculate everything. Try 70-30 here, try 60-40 here, try different percentages that make sense for you in your life, but those will keep you afloat and keep you ahead. And like I showed you in the example of the $100,000, it doesn't take a ton of extra money to make extra money long-term. Over 30 years, like we explained earlier, just an extra $10,000 per year or $833 a month turned into $2.1 million. Or you can do the invisible raise technique. That's what I did with my wife for the longest time. For 8 straight years, every time we got a raise, we increased our financial goals 100%. So we spent nothing additional in our lifestyle, and that's why we're financially free today, whether you like it or not. And I know people get mad about that, but what we sacrificed gave us the position that we're in today. And that's life. Things that are worthwhile are hard to do, and people that do hard things get great results. And that's what you're seeing on your screen right now. The other thing you can do is set up wealth buckets. So automations into different wealth buckets that you have. Maybe you have a vacation that you want to go on. And again, not all of this is about just investing more money to invest more money. It's to invest for your children. Go on a vacation, early retire, have a spouse quit their 9-to-5 early like my wife did. That changed our life forever, her being able to be home with my daughters. And in fact, as I was recording this video, and I say oftentimes because this is the time we do it, is she was just walking around with her mom, my mother-in-law, and my 2 daughters a second ago in the neighborhood because of the life that we set up by doing what I'm telling you right now. Your automations would be all pre-programmed into our system, and this is why people get so much success in the academy. Strategy number 2, the lifestyle audit. My favorite thing is to do a look-back analysis of the last 90 days. Now, we have a free AI tool in the show notes below that will connect to my budgeting template. And what you can do is set that up, and you can connect your bank accounts and credit card statements to this that will pull your statements into our budgeting template. And then that will actually update the budgeting template for you automatically within a matter of 5 to 10 minutes using AI. You can go backwards of 3 months, which I typically recommend you to do, but you can go back to 24 months if you would like. And this is the best AI software on the market. It's going to categorize your entire budget for you. It's going to pull in all your credit card statements, all your bank statements, and then organize it for you and show you what you actually did. And then from there, you can actually analyze all of your results. Instead of taking the time to actually pull the results, I want you to act as a CEO for your specific financial situation and use the AI tool to pull the results, but then take the time to assess the result. So in the show notes below, you can get that free tool today. Strategy number 3 is the wealth identity shift. Going from a high earner or a Henry, a high earner not rich yet, to a wealth builder. That identity shift is going to be massive. People that have a good belief system change their identity to align with what they want to become. When they become something, they usually join environments like Budgetdog Academy to become the person they want to become. Within that environment, you have systems like our automated financial system that get you an intended result that everybody else has. And so when you start to believe you can build wealth and you join the academy and build through our system, you're going to become wealthy automatically. It just takes time. So like I said, go in the show notes below and start this process today. Do not just watch this video and not take action. We have a free AI tool that you can use in your financial situation using our budget template that's free that you can start this process with today. And then I want you to comment below, what is the biggest lifestyle upgrade that you've ever made, and do you regret it or do you not? Spending is not a bad thing, remember that. But make sure you're spending on the right stuff that align with your values that change your life forever, not temporarily. And with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe this video, and I will see you next week.